Mike Schmitz of ESPN. We're here with Kansas guard Devon Dotson, one of the most prolific point guards in the entire nation, really. Second team All-American, one of the best players in your entire conference, potential first-round pick. Devon, appreciate you taking the time, man.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
All right, let's go through your film here. So like I said, we're going to go through offense, defense, all different elements of your game. And for me personally, I think where you can have the biggest impact right away is defensively. With your foot speed, I think you're a lot stronger than people realize. I mean, your ability to keep guys in front, right? And that's against a really good player and forcing turnovers. Take me through this play here.
Right, so D. Mitchell had the ball up top.
Yeah.
I wanted to, get a quick burst and try to make a play. And right there, I kind of read his hips, showed my hand. So, the ref can't call, a contact foul. So, just kept it clean, slid to the spot that I knew he was going to, and tried to get back in front of the ball handler as quick as possible so he can't make a play. So.
Yeah, and you said it, and I love your ability to kind of shed this screen too. We'll get into your pick and roll defense, but you're a physical dude, and you take hits at a pretty high level, and then just try to recover with the high hands, and I think that plays a role in forcing that turnover. So, like I said, I think you're a guy who can slide with pretty much anybody, and then you have really quick hands when they do try to get into your body, right?
Yeah, for sure. Every time the opposing guard is getting to the rim, trying to make a play. I look and see if there's an opportunity where I can swipe. If they have the ball out in front of me, I know I can take it. So, that's something I've been doing ever since I started playing. So.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different guards, I think, defensively that are worth studying. Pat Bev is one. Eric Bledsoe, we'll get into some of that. But kind of the new guy on the scene that I really like to watch is Javon Carter, defensively. Have you watched much of him?
Just him being the Big 12, playing against Kansas. I watched a couple of his clips, but he can really defend for sure.
Yeah, and if you just see how he pressures the ball here with Lou Will, he gives no space. Doesn't matter who you are. Super, super active hands. He's going to speed you up, and I think that's what you can look like as well, right? Whether it's an all-star you're defending, a backup, doesn't really matter. So I think you can have some similarities there. And again, that's not an all-star caliber guy. We'll get into those guys eventually, but all right, we can see it in one-on-one situations. I think you have the ability to really heat guys up, and then in pick and roll as well. What were you guys trying to do on the sideline? You're trying to ice these?
So yeah, Coach self preaches if we ice it. Try as hard as we can to, level off the ball to get back in front because that can cause a disadvantage if we don't. So we forced into a tough shot right here. Ochai did a great job of, kind of helping out a little bit and forced a tough shot.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a seamless transition for you because that's generally what most teams, NBA teams, are trying to do in the sideline alley, right? They want to keep the ball on the side, and you do a really good job of kind of hopping over the top of the screen here, staying attached to his body for the most part. You got good help from Marcus Garrett there on the tag, and, that's really good defense. So I think you're a guy who can do a great job of kind of fighting over, and then similar situation here with Javon, right? Just trying to keep it in that sideline, and he's a guy who does a good job of that against your guy, Derrick Rose, right?
Right. Yeah, he iced it, and he also got in front. So, Coach Self would love that right there. Right there. Yeah, he'll eat that up for sure.
What's the biggest thing you learned from him, Coach Self?
I think it's just the competitiveness and just the mental part of it of wanting to be successful, wanting to accomplish. Each and every day in practice, there was no off day. There was no, take it easy. Each day he was focusing on something, just perfecting our craft, really. So just I think it's the daily, constant attack the day. It could be anything, a class, anything really. So I think just that mental part of just attacking everything.
Yeah, and the track record is good for Kansas point guards as of late, right? Devontae Graham,
Right.
Frank Mason's been playing a little bit more here as of late, and I think just coming from that school of thought, whether it's Kansas, whether it's Duke, whether it's Kentucky, a lot of these high-level schools, North Carolina, you come in ready to contribute. In Villanova, and you've won a lot of big games.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's going to allow you to kind of fit in, and then like I said, you have the strength to kind of fight over the top of these, and then the quick hands, right?
Right there. Yeah, in that middle ball screen, trying to fight over the top.
Yep.
I saw he was getting into his little gather, and that was the opportunity for me to, kind of swipe, and got the steal. So.
Yep. So in the sideline, you're trying to ice. In the middle, you're trying to weak and get over, right, and kind of corral.
Yep.
And that's what NBA teams are trying to do. I love this clip out of Bledsoe here. I think this is a really good one to watch. What do you like about this against Mike Conley?
Yeah, it's great. He kind of squeezed the ball screen, like he narrowed his body, so he can fit through that ball screen right there, and he got through it perfectly. Mike Conley tried to shoot him off. He stayed connected to his body, and he got deflection. So, that's a great clip.
Yeah, then he ends it on the floor, getting those 50-50 balls. So, that's why I think 2019 he was first team all defense. And I think, like I said, you can be somebody who does the same. And then even if you do get hit, right, I love this from you. You're going to really fight to recover.
Right.
And Kyle Lowry's another guy I love to watch defensively. Have you studied him at all?
Yeah, I watch a lot of point guards.
Yep.
With just his scrappiness, his ability to take charges, just his will and his scrap. I love.
Yeah, and similar kind of situation. I know this is more of a side ball screen, a flat step up, but okay, he's gonna get screened off a little bit, but he hustles to get back in front, right?
Right. Yeah. That's textbook right there.
Yep, and I think he took over 50 charges in the regular season. So, off the ball, how would you rate yourself?
I would say I'm up there. That's kind of an area where I can get better at for sure. I can always improve, but this clip you're about to show, I see him rolling.
Yep.
And I try to get to that midline.
Yep.
And I read it like a cornerback would, and I saw it, anticipated, and made the steal. So.
And that's you above the free throw line, right? You at least got to get a bump or make it tough on him, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And that's really good. Great positioning, great understanding, head on a swivel, and I think you average over 2 steals per 40 minutes, and a lot of that is your anticipation, your quickness. So I think you're going to be a factor in these off-ball situations. And again, kind of similar situation here with Javon, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get the clean catch, but just being in the right position, on those tags and
right tag, yep, and anticipate. That's key. Just kind of just knowing, what's going to happen next. That's big for on the defensive end. People probably don't realize defense is mental. Is a big part of it. So.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, because you're so used to playing these NBA coverages, you're going to be a guy who can fit in right away. Like you said, everyone has their lapses, right?
Right.
What happens here?
I went under. I was thinking he was going to brush right off of him, but he made a great read. He just stopped and popped. For a guy like him, I should just go over everything. But we get the option. Me and Mark and a couple other guys, we get the option of doing what we want right here, and he made me pay right here.
So you can make your own decision based on how he's playing, what the scouting report says, all that. Okay,
yeah.
That's good. So you got some freedom there. And more often than not, like I said, I thought you were really, really solid in these situations. And I like this, just your awareness, your activity out in the passing lanes, and then a little bit of bounce, huh?
Yeah, I didn't show it too much, but I have it for sure.
And I think you're a guy, there are a ton of clips of you kind of just anticipating from the backside, being really, really active, with your quickness, your timing, your anticipation, and I think you're going to cause a lot of problems for opponents. And then had to throw this in here, like you said earlier, Kyle Lowry, really good at taking charges.
Yeah, he's like the best in the game at it. Just like, again, anticipation. He saw the driver, going to the lane. He saw that he was kind of losing control, and he stepped in and made the right play. So.
Yeah, and he's not a guy who has crazy vert or super long arms or any of that, but he's just so smart. He's so active, and that's a huge reason why Toronto's so good is because of a guy like him. So I think defensively that's a good one to watch. So absolutely, though, I think you're a guy on the defensive end who can come in right away, speed people up, be active, and that's a great way to get on the court early, and then the offensive stuff I think will take care of itself.
Right.
All right, so we went through your defense, and like I said, I think that's an area you can be really, really strong in your career. But what everyone knows you for is your speed. In the open court, in the half court, where does that come from for you?
I think it's just natural. Yeah, there's not like a time where I really worked on it. It's just since I was a kid, from what I can remember, just always. I think it's always just running. I mean, in school, always like in elementary school, I was always be races. I would want to be a part of. Just always just trying to run, and I think that's where it came from. So it's just natural, yeah, for sure.
Do you think you're the fastest player in the draft?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's funny. I posted we were doing this, and I said, arguably the fastest player in the draft,
Yeah.
and people were hitting me up. Oh, Kyra Lewis. What happened to Kyra Lewis? Are you faster than Kyra Lewis?
I believe so. I've never played against him, but I believe with my speed and I'm probably.
And it's not just straight line too. We'll get into it, but one thing I really like is your ability to kind of go from slow to fast, and rock people to sleep, and then just explode on a dime. So we'll get into that. But in transition, open court, I mean, you're a nightmare for teams to defend. What's going through your head as you kind of come down with these rebounds and survey what's going on?
Yeah, right here, I see they have two people back. I see they're kind of jogging, kind of loafing, and I was kind of jogging. And around that mid-court line, I kind of kicked it into another gear. I saw if I make that burst, it's going to be hard for them to cover. And with, me jumping in the air and my finishing ability, it was going to be tough for them to recover. So I just took the best of it.
Yep, I think, like I said, I think you're going to fit perfectly in kind of an up-tempo offense. And another guy who I think is maybe the fastest end-to-end in the game is Darren Fox.
Super fast, yeah.
You ever played against him or no?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, even here you can see, like, this is off a made bucket, right? And
Right.
just quick outlet. It doesn't even look like he's exerting that much energy, but, his ability to change ends is crazy. And then one other guy to look at, like I said, we're not talking about all-stars here, but Ish Smith.
Right.
I think another guy who's one of the fastest. Have you watched him at all?
I haven't, but I mean, I've seen clips, here and there.
Yep.
Yeah, his quickness and his speed, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and he's carved out a really nice career for himself, in the NBA, and a guy that everybody loves playing with. So, you can do it as a scorer, and then also you can do it as a playmaker, right? Here, just look at all the eyes completely fixated on you as you come down the court, right? I mean, you draw attention from, 3-4 different guys than just
Right.
a basic kick out, right?
Right. That's my job. I knew with my quickness, I can get in the paint. I have 2 feet in the paint right there, which causes the defenders to look. I mean, they have to with my threat of scoring the ball. And Isaiah, one of the best shooters in college, knocks it down. So.
Yep, and getting those paint touches I think is huge. And then also we saw some of these hit-aheads from you, especially with your right hand of being able to pass kind of off the dribble there. I was impressed. What do you see here?
Yeah, I see dope running. I see the lane is clear. I just want to get it to as quick as possible. Make a quick dribble, and just whip it to him. As fast as I could, right on the chest. And Dope made a great play, stepped through and dunked it. So
Got to reward the big, right, for running the floor hard.
Yep, for sure.
And then in the half court, like I said, your ability to just kind of rock guys to sleep and then explode. Is that something you had to work on or no?
No, I mean it's kind of just like a natural thing. I see him kind of on his heels.
Yep.
At this point, he doesn't know if I'm going to cross, if I'm going to explode. Kind of like put hesitation on him.
Yep.
Have the ball like carrying in my left hand, and I just explode. As fast as I could, get to the paint and make a finish. So.
Really, really impressive. And then D Fox, someone who's really good at that with whether it's in and outs, crossovers, and then you have this kind of left to right too. This is one of your go-tos, huh?
Yeah, for sure. So keep the defense honest. If they see that I'm just exploding to the rim, that's when the cross comes in. And, it's very tough to, probably defend. And so, yeah.
And then just the kind of crafty finish. And you mentioned it, Kemba, he's one of the best at shifting gears, changing pace. What have you taken away from his game?
Just the way he can finish down there. In a way he can contour his body, like you see right there. I mean, he kind of dug his shoulder down a little bit, attacked the hip of Zion, and which put him out to play. So, I mean, Zion's a 6'5" big defender, and he got to the paint easily. So,
Yep.
just watch how he attacks defenders.
Yep.
Constantly. Yeah.
And kind of similar to that last move from you, right? Nothing fancy, but just kind of that left to right hang cross and then blow by. So I think you could look very similar at the next level, and then you can do it kind of from a standstill even too. Like this is pretty ridiculous change of speeds here in pick and roll. What do you see?
Yeah. So I see that this is like a 3 or 4 guarding me.
Yep.
He's taller, and usually tall people I can go right by. So.
Yep.
I see that Tristan comes and sets the pick, and his feet are kind of kind of dancing, kind of placing, and I just attack the left side, as fast as I can, and finish.
So all right, kind of in the half court here in ball screens, teams went under you a little bit here and there, right? So how do you have to keep them honest?
Yeah, I remember West Virginia. Their game plan was to go under, and on that clip, I mean, he went under a lot, so I just kind of put a pause, dribble, lined it up, and knocked it down. So.
And I think that's going to be key for you, moving forward, is just consistently forcing teams to go over, play out of those drops, and then you're so explosive, then you'll really be a nightmare. Because if they're daring you, I know they get a late switch here, then it becomes a little bit more tough to be effective in the half court, right?
Right.
What do you see here? What's your read?
Yeah, so I see he's going under, but I mean, it's confusion because his man kind of gets in the way.
Yep.
And so that kind of displaces him from his stance, and just a quick burst to the basket, high finish, extend finish was key there with his length. So
yeah, it's a great move. And then, like we talked about earlier, I think like manipulating in these 2-on-1 situations too, continuing to maybe slow down, keep them on your back. How much have you studied that type of stuff?
Yeah, I mean that's been big right now with stuff going on in quarantine. Watching just a lot of film and breaking things down of having that pace, that emphasis that I've been working on with these workouts, pick and roll, just slowing down a little bit, getting the guy in your hip.
Yeah.
So that's been an emphasis, on this off season, of just playing with better pace, slowing down, reading your options, and like controlling the game more. So.
Yeah, and if you watch, I would say like Chris Paul looks like he's playing in slow motion, right?
Right.
But he gets wherever he wants on the floor. And then I think here, they probably want to bait you into a contested mid-range pull-up, right? So whereas if you get him on your hip, you get him on your back, then you're making that big, really make a decision he doesn't want to. That weak side has to tag on Doak, and then maybe you got the open lift shooter too. So many different options that, I think you'll see in the NBA as well. And Kyle, again, a guy who's really good at getting in the body, right?
Right, he kind of displaces that defender. I mean, he's behind him, out to play, and once he gives him a little contact hit, that's all the separation he needs to get into his floater. So, it's great to watch.
Yep, and big body dude, really, really crafty in the paint. And then here against Stanford, I thought you had some great moments in this game, and you can just see kind of that patience and that change of pace, right?
Right. So I tried to get my man hung up, kind of waited. Didn't attack right away. Kind of seeing what that defender has to make a decision. That big has to make a decision if he wants to go back to Sylv or guard me. And my man is out to play. So I saw that he was kind of hesitating, confused, and made a quick burst to the basket and finished.
Yeah, that's great. And he probably should have stayed with you, right? Because he's got that tag help. But if he does, then you got that weak side corner, which I think.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, different options out of that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the goal is just making sure that they're playing out of those drops by making enough shots, and then I think that's going to be money time for you. And then here against TCU, coming off tight, and again, that change of pace opens up opportunities for the big too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Especially this game, it was big emphasis just before the game, warming up, getting my man hung up a little bit better, which just opens up many different options. And right here, I kind of did that, which forced Doak's man to commit to me, which leaves Dope with the roadman wide open. So that's kind of the read there.
Yep, that's great pace. And maybe earlier in your career, you might have just stopped on a dime, pulled up. But here, really, really patient. And then, the easy finish for the big. So, like I said, I think you made great strides in those areas. And then, like you said earlier, your ability to throw the lob really stood out this year.
Right.
I mean, you had a good target, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can catch a lot. But, I mean, yeah, that's something I worked on a lot this offseason, just that, that pass right there. And I mean, because that's a big option. Because the big, once your big has, it's a step behind, that guy.
Yeah.
You throw it up. I mean, bigs can catch that. So once he has that step, if you throw it up near the rim, I mean, it's over. So.
And especially if it's in that empty side, right? And he's kind of a little handoff there, and that weak side tag. He doesn't want to see 7'1", 280 barreling down the paint, right?
Nah, it's like a Mack truck.
Get out of the way, man. Yeah. And those are the kind of guys you'll have in the league. You know what I mean? You got a lot of really high-level lob catchers, and I think you'll be having success in those situations there as well. So what do you see here as you come off?
Right, so I see they're hard hedging. That leaves Manic tagging Dope.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to tag, and that corner skip is wide open, and Mark just does a great job of knocking it down. So just reading that weak side was big right there.
Yep, and at the NBA level, you're probably going to have 40% shooter, 40% shooter, rim runner, lob catcher, right? You're going to have all those type of guys around you.
Different weapons out there in the court, so yeah.
Sure. Yep, and you'll have plenty to choose from, and I think that's going to make you, like I said, really, really dangerous. What happens here?
Yeah, it's kind of a two horns ball screen. I knew there was space there, and kind of, rocked him left, and they make a quick cross right, split, and which was lead to mid options at this point. I really could finish, and I know I have Zay in the corner ready, spotting up, and he knocks down the three. So.
And there's a lot of nuances to this too, right? I mean, just your handle here in tight spaces, your ability to kind of evade that reach there, and then also they're loading up to take a charge here. So you get rid of it quick, and then you kind of dodge that, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Oklahoma State does a great job of taking charges. I know that, and I see him coming over, and so after I pass it, I kind of gotta, do like a little spin to evade that charge. So. Yeah.
And beauty's in the details sometimes, and I think those are a lot of the things that show up, just watching you on film. And then so as we wind down here, you're finishing, like I said earlier, one thing I don't know if everyone understands is just how strong you are. You feel comfortable kind of attacking. You can see like two bigs here through the chest.
Yeah. That's just, I think that's just watching a lot of film, my athleticism. I know my strength. I know if I jump up and take contact, I know I can absorb it, and make a play. So.
And that's 6'9", 6'10", high level ACC players, and just look at where you take off from. Going into the body, and maybe that's some of that Derrick Rose 2-foot finishing, right?
Yeah, he does a lot of that. So I noticed that, just taking bits and pieces. So yeah.
But I love this from you when you talk about just kind of some deception, right? That same foot, same hand, I think keeps him kind of off balance. What's the goal here?
I want that big to thinking I'm going up with the right, so I kind of makes him jump like kind of towards the middle. Mm-hmm. Once you show that ball over there to the right, kind of
got you.
Bring it over to the left, and by that time it's kind of too late. So. That was my thought process here. The
finishing, I think, is going to be there at the NBA level. And then the last part of it, too, I think is, like I said earlier, the fact that you can play off of the ball, too. I love this clip overall as a team, just the way that you guys are playing. They're in a zone. Take me through this play.
Yeah, so they're in a zone, try to attack, get to my 1-2, hit the corner. Ochai swings it over to Mark. Mark's driving. Zay does a great job of flashing to the middle, which occupies that middle defender, which leaves me in the corner wide open. So Zay did a great job of flashing right there, and Mark did a great job of finding me, and just tried to knock it down.
Yep, that's perfect basketball, and that's how NBA teams want to play. And I think it's imperative that point guards are able to shoot off the catch now in today's game, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's something you have too. I mean, I think like 20% of your offense was spot up. So I think you can do both. And like I said, Lowry's able to play with the Van Vliet. One, because he can really guard, and two, because he can really shoot. and does a great job kind of drifting to that open space here on the Siakam drive, right?
Right.
Hands and feet ready. Yep.
Yeah.
Splash. And then the last piece of it, being active as a cutter. What do you see here?
Yeah, right here I know West Virginia's a very aggressive team, and they love denying. That defender especially loved denying. I knew he was going to try to, play aggressive, and I read it, made a quick cut, with my left foot, and Mark did a great job of finding me and tried to put it high on the glass there. So.
Well, Devon, it's been great, to watch your career, man, and the way you've, progressed these last few seasons. I remember, I think it was first at Pangos All-American Camp, we interviewed you back in the day, and so you were a big-time recruit then, and now you're a big-time prospect. So, your future is extremely bright, and keep working and enjoying the process, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.